Welcome everybody to season 6 of Head to Head Sports. I'm your host Brian Parker, waiting for my co-host Mr. Randall Hargrove. But we will get started anyway. Hope everybody had a great off season. We are so excited and pumped to get going for a brand new NFL season. This is season 6 of Head to Head Sports. Thank y'all for joining us, whether you're joining us live or on the replay. We absolutely thank you for that. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Amazon, as well as Instagram and YouTube. Guys, do me a favor if you haven't already, please show some love on our YouTube channel. Go to Empower TV Network and like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. But whether you're viewing us on any other platform, please make sure that you share it. Let everybody else know where you're tuning in from. It really does help with our algorithm. So we really do appreciate you guys from tuning in. We do this every single NFL season. The way it normally works is that the first couple of weeks before the regular season, we will go through all 32 NFL teams and break them down as best we can leading up to opening weekend. Now, opening weekend is going to be on Thursday, September the 4th, between the world champion Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. And what we want to be able to do is get through all 32 teams before then, with the and we've changed, as you can see, to a new day, which is going to be on, which is going to be on Mondays, still 7 o'clock. And we'll try to end the show right leading up until Monday Night Football. So once Monday Night Football hits, the show is going to roughly end around 8:15, 8:20 at the latest. And we've got to cram it into 3 weeks instead of the 4 that we have, because Monday, September the 1st is, of course, Labor Day. And there will not be a show that day. And then the very first game will actually be on that following Thursday, the 4th, within the regular slate of games that following Sunday. So we'll get into all of that. But again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, hanging with us for a brand new season, season 6. Man, it's incredible. I didn't think when we started the show that we would actually have that many episodes under our belt. But a lot of that is thanks to you guys for tuning in, supporting, joining the chat, sending in your comments, coming back every single week. Even those that don't catch us live, we do see the replays, and everything else is very much appreciated. And we could not do this show without you. We do it with you, as a matter of fact. So again, thank you for tuning in. If you are a content creator, hey, listen, people ask me all the time, Brian, you guys do so good with the sports show. We would love to be able to see you cover other things like basketball. Sorry, damn glucose meter going up. We would love to be able to see you guys cover basketball or other things like that. And to that, I say, I would love to do it too, but it is just way too much for one person to do. I can't do it all, y'all. So if you're somebody that loves sports, or there's a particular sport you love, baseball, NASCAR, golf, college football, NBA, women's basketball, honestly, whatever it is, and you would like to host the live show and you're interested in particularly partnering with us on the Empower TV network, we would love for you guys to be able to do that. Absolutely. So please, if you got a passion for that, or you think, or maybe there's somebody that you know um, would love to do that, or maybe it's not a sports show, maybe it's an entertainment show, maybe it's a cooking show, or some other type of talk show that you've always wanted to host, and you're like, man, I don't even know how I would get started with that, or what platforms I would use and things like that. Hey, reach out to me at theparkermedia@gmail.com. Maybe we can sit down and talk about doing a partnership where you can use our live stream to be able to do your show. I only have two time slots that you can't have. That is Monday night at 7, and that is Thursday night at 7, because on Thursday nights, we hold our politics show called, wait for it, Head to Head with Brian Parker. So, but we would definitely love to be able to put even more and more live shows on the air. Our network on Roku has a lot of pre-recorded, saved movies and things like that, music videos, etc., that you can always go back and watch. But what we really want to do is help you guys build your following, albeit through the live stream. We can connect it to your YouTube platforms if necessary, and things like that, help you gain even more exposure. So we want to help you grow as well as help our network grow. So please reach out to me, theparkermedia at gmail.com. Or again, if you know of anyone that may want to have their own show and air it live, multi-stream it on Roku, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all at the same time, we would love to be able to talk to you guys about that. So definitely appreciate that. I did get a message from my co-host Randall. He is apparently on the way, so I will stall as long as I can. No, I'm not stalling. I'm just giving you guys a lot of the first day information. Other thing too is, if you are a business owner, and we love small business, we love promoting you guys and putting your small business out there. I'm going to give you an example of that. We partnered with Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow. They are book writers, children book writers in particular, and they wanted to be able to push their book out to more and more viewers. Now they both have full time jobs, but this is a passion of theirs, and they do it on the side. And we partnered with them, and we cut a commercial. And I want to just show you guys how that can go, because if this is something that you may want to be able to do for your own business, hey, by all means, let's sit down, let's talk about that, and getting it. Oh, my internet went a little woozy on me. Let me bring that up right now if I can find the damn ad. This should be it. Let's see it. Introducing Sawyer, Kid Lawyer, Teacher versus Nap Time, a great book that will help your little one with reading, writing, and spelling. Coming from the authors Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow. Please check this book out and support. Thank you so much. And that's just like that. So we can cut out those commercials for you. And look here who's popped in for season 6 of Head to Head Sports. We have the one, the only, Mr. Randall Hargrove. What's up, man? Can you hear me? Rand, you there? You there? You there? Uh-oh. I had him. We're gonna pull him back. We're gonna get him right. We're gonna get him in here. Hey, Jermaine Parker, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate the love. Three things I look forward to every August: temperatures coming down, football season, and head to head sports. Welcome back. Yes, indeedy, sir. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. We are excited to be able to bring another season of football. It's going to be a great season. We always can say that when everybody's 0-0, even though the preseason is among us. We've already had the Hall of Fame game. We've already had one full week of preseason football, which you guys know there's only 3 preseason games now. So, probably soon to be 2. We'll talk about that at some point throughout the year as well. I know the NFL is going to, at some point, want to be able to go to 18 games for a lot of different reasons. That way you can have teams, if they go 500, they 9-9 instead of 9-8, or that kind of thing. I think that's going to happen. But more so than that, it's definitely a revenue booster for the league and stuff like that. So with the way these salaries are going with these players, the only way they're going to keep up is to have more meaningful football games, like regular season games out there, with the way some of these contracts are going and markets being reset all the time. So definitely, definitely. we'll get into that at some point. Again, what I was closing off with the partnership, please reach out to us. We would love to be able to partner with you guys. Rand, I'm gonna bring you back in. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. Do I got you?
What's up, man?
We got you.
Technology's gonna be the enemy, yo. Damn it.
Rand, I got one thing for you. Welcome to season 6 of Head to Head Sports.
6 seasons in, bro. Let's get it popping. Can't wait.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh man. Jermaine started it out. He said 3 things I look forward to every August. Temperatures coming down, football season, and head to head sports. Welcome back. Couldn't agree with you more, Jermaine. And then
welcome back.
Shador, can't wait to hear what you and Rando have to say. Oh yeah. Well, Jermaine, that's funny that you say that because we are covering this week the NFC North. We're covering the NFC South as well as the AFC North. And Rand, I gave them a little background as to why we're doing that. We got 3 on 2 weeks and then 2 on the last week, I believe, simply because 9/1 is Labor Day. We won't have a show that day. And then the regular season starts on that Thursday night with the world champion Philadelphia Eagles against the lowly Dallas Cowboys. So we'll get started. But look, man, how you feeling? Everything good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Apologize for just now getting in here. The 11th just ran up on me, man. What can I say, bro? I mean, got a lot of stuff going on my end with the bands and whatnot and jobs. And sometimes time gets away from you, but I am here, present, ready to throw down with these predictions. Let's get it cracking.
Absolutely. And if you know what he's talking about, one of the bands that Rand has 15 bands, but one of them is the Kendrick Cult. Check them out on Instagram to find out their latest spots where they will be performing. I will remind you guys over and over, so don't even worry about it. But you can go to Kendrick Cult on IG for shows, clips, etc. So keep that in mind too, fam. Yeah, man. It ran up on me too.
Speaking of which,
Yes, sir. It ran up.
Speaking
on me.
of which, we got a. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Just mean a little shameless self promo. I got my birthday Jammy Jam show on August the 22nd. So I'm inviting everybody to come out. It's at Bradshaw Social House. We will be kicking things off at 10 o'clock. Very best of alternative rock music from all decades. Some 70s flavor, 80s, 90s.
Okay.
Big concentration on 90s. But it's always fun at a Kendrick Cult show. Brian could tell you that. He's been out there a few times. Come out, man. Help me celebrate the double nickel up in this piece. God bless.
Woo! The double nickel. Okay. Oh my goodness. A lot of these August babies. I just had 51 on the 4th. So yes, sir. I know how it is.
All right.
And then coming into the 50 club this year will be my brother right after Thanksgiving. So he's gonna hit that big 5-0. So man, we all creeping up in there. So
yeah, man.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy. So hey, listen. I was telling everybody we're gonna get the show on Monday nights from 7 leading up until Monday Night Football. I don't think it starts that first Monday night of the season. That normally doesn't, but I have to check the schedule just to be sure. But we'll make sure that we get you guys out in plenty of time to be able to get the nachos, get the beers ready for the Monday night. But we want to be able to get you the Monday Night Football. We'll give you the forecast for that game, as well as once Thursday Night Football starts creeping in, we'll give you the breakdown on those games as well. But without further ado, let's start with the NFC North, Rand. How about that?
Sounds good to me, man.
We have in the NFC North, of course, the Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, and the Green Bay Packers. The Vikings finished last season 14-3. They were second in the division. The Detroit Lions actually finished first at 15-2. The Green Bay Packers finished at 11-6. third place, and then the Chicago Bears finished at 5-12 for fourth. And what we're also going to do is, as we do all the time, is break down the divisions and give our predictions for how they're going to finish. It is going to be kind of funny because I've looked at a lot of these already, and I don't see a lot of changes. so, so y'all gonna have to help me find some changes because I'm having
Yeah,
this deja vu shows where the way I saw way they finished in 25 damn near looks like how they're gonna finish this year too. So
it is very hard. It is very hard. I went back and forth myself trying to choose different teams, trying to choose a team that I figured could make a jump, but it's
right.
just hard to take away the ones that finished first last
Mm-hmm.
year because
Mm-hmm.
they're coming back still strong
Yeah,
this year. So it's
I'm
just
strong.
tough.
So let's look at the Minnesota Vikings. We've got like I said, a team that finished 14-3, was on fire last year with who I would call one of the comeback players of the year, and Sam Darnold. Unexpectedly leading the Vikings after JJ McCarthy had a season-ending injury. But Darnold came in, and Kevin O'Connell made sure that he had an offense that Sam Darnold could run, and he flourished greatly. And they did some really, really, really good things. So it was really good to be able to see them. Sam Darnold has now moved on to Seattle. They felt very comfortable allowing him to walk out the door. Number one, they would have had to, he would have been a very highly paid backup quarterback because they had every intention of making sure that JJ McCarthy was going to be their starter once he was healthy. So now JJ
Yes.
McCarthy is going to be the starting cornerback. The way the depth chart works out, Sam Howell is going to be his backup, followed by Brett Rippon. Um, they did some pretty good things. They had the 12th ranked offense last year, but they also had the 16th ranked defense, and really felt like the team would try to address some of their defensive needs in the draft, which they did not do. Instead, they actually went with a left guard. They didn't have any second round picks. They had one first round pick, and they went with left guard in Donovan Jackson to help, and that should be helpful for a young quarterback. Always having some protection up front, especially when you can hit on a rookie that is a day one starter. So they did improve that way, but did not really do a whole lot for their defense. And then we have a couple of notes too. Rondell Moore just suffered an injury the other day, and he's having MRIs and everything to see how bad that injury is going to be. But he's one of their wide receivers. We know what Justin Jefferson is and what he's going to be able to do. We know who Aaron Jones is as a running back and what he's going to be able to do. TJ Hawkinson comes back, ran as their offensive tight end. But I'm a little worried that once you start looking at the depth chart past Justin Jefferson at wide receiver and Hawkinson as a de facto receiver, it starts to look a little thin to me. What do you think about that?
So of course I like Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's probably the first or second best wide receiver in the whole NFL, just depending on how you want to look at it. But they also have Jordan Addison, who's also a number one wide receiver as well. I mean, the dude ain't no joke. He's hard to cover. So they do have two options on the outside. Now, Addison, from my understanding, is going to be serving a suspension. And so I think he's out the first 3 weeks or so. That is going to hurt. That's going to hurt big time. And when I made my prediction about the Vikings finishing second in the North, it was, prior to knowledge of Addison being suspended. So when you got a new quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback, and I know he's not a true rookie because he was there last year, but he got no snaps and no playing time last year due to a knee injury. So he's really a true rookie being thrown into the mix. And he's not going to be able to develop anything with Addison from weeks 1 till 3. That's going to make a big difference. Now, like you were saying, they do have a really good run game to lean on with Jones and Jordan Mason. Those are two physical backs. And with the left guard that they drafted, that's going to help them to really run the football. But it's all on the arm of the quarterback. It's just depending on what McCarthy can do, how quickly he can get in there and learn, and not freak out about it. Now I know you said they didn't have any draft picks for their defense, but they went and got 2 good pieces for their defensive line in the free agency. They got Javon Hargrave to plug up the middle, and they also got Jonathan Allen. Them are 2 beasts that's going to be really hard to run the football on. So we'll see, man. Defensively, I think they'll be okay. Offensively, I think they could really shine, but it's really depending on how much McCarthy could take on and learn. If he's one of those rookie quarterbacks that comes out slinging, like a CJ Stroud, then hey, the Vikings will look just as good as they did last year. But if he struggles at any point, it's going to be tough for him, especially in that division.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I did purposely leave out Jordan Addison, only because I saw the suspension beside his name because of the he pled no contest to the DUI or something of a wet DUI, they called it. So, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on him. Now, the benefactor of that I normally see with a young quarterback is going to be the tight end being able to dump off, or even the running back being able to throw some of those quick releases. The main thing with a young quarterback is rhythm, timing, and getting the ball out of their hand as soon as they can, not taking unnecessary sacks, not holding on to the ball too long, making sure that they're going through their reads, their progressions, and everything else, and being able to look at pre-snap lineups to make sure that if the defense is in something else, that they go to the next read or the read after that, and make sure that they could also get their players lined up. Another thing with young quarterbacks, getting out of that break quick enough, have enough time to be able to look at all of that, maybe give them a little extra time to look at all of that, so that if the defense is showing something different, that they can audible and everything else. Robbie Jenkins, are we live? What's up, guys? And happy belated birthday, Brian Parker. Thank you, Robbie. How you doing,
What's
buddy?
going on, Robbie?
We back. It's been
So
6 months.
Man.
It's been 6 months.
I know. Glad to see everybody back. Some familiar names out here. Robbie, what is going on? True cowboy hater like me and Brian. Love it.
That's what I'm talking about. I feel the love. Oh yeah. So and then to your point too about they didn't address a lot of defense in the draft, but you're right. They signed 4 cornerbacks as free agents. Byron Murphy, Jeff Utica, Isaiah Rogers, Taveri Thomas. So and then they signed a safety in Theo Jackson, and Harrison Smith is another safety that they signed. So these are some guys that they probably felt like would be able to give them a lot of instantaneous defense. Their offense, I'm not worried that eventually it's gonna start clicking. I am worried if they start out a little slow, particularly just because of not having Jordan Addison on the other side, and teams feeling like that they're going to double up on Justin Jefferson, and see if these first year guys, Lucky Jackson and Ty Felton, are going to be able to step up and pin up and make the defenses get punished for trying to double team Justin Jefferson. But really seeing if JJ McCarthy is going to have any chemistry with these new guys.
Yeah. Now, the chemistry with Justin Jefferson should not be hard. I mean, we're talking the premier wide receiver in the NFL. So if you any kind of quarterback, you should be able to get him the ball.
Yep.
I'm saying. So
Absolutely.
I think the first downs should be pretty okay to come by, but similar to Bryce Young, it just all depends on him. He's surrounded by the talent, but it all depends on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I also think too, just capping up on the Vikings, to me, a lot of things that'll be able to help him is if the run game is really good, use the run to set up the pass. Play action is a really good one, because if the run game starts off really, really good, and you're under center, it's going to be really, really hard for those defenses to know, is this a pass? Is this a RPO? Is this any kind of play action that's going to free up those receivers and give them more time to get open down the field? If you start to
Yeah.
do that, whether you're a rookie quarterback or you're a seasoned vet, that is a good thing to have. When your run game is doing good, it opens up so many extra possibilities for the pass game. So we'll be intrigued to see that. And we'll move on to the Lions, Fran. They actually finished top. They, you know what? The Lions, talking about holding together with bubble gum and some duct tape. This team had more defensive players on injured reserve than some teams just had in the whole team being on injured reserve.
Yeah.
And if ever there was a meme for next man up, it was the defense of the Detroit Lions last year to amass a 15-2 record with the defense just eroding before our eyes, from
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson getting just nicked to just one player after another going down. And basically, Dan Campbell basically said, you know what? Every time there's a fourth down, we're going to go for it because we can't trust this defense. So he
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
Riverboat Ron. He was Riverboat Dan because it was out of necessity that he had to go get it.
I know. And it's like, I'm not a Detroit Lions fan, so I was not following the amount of injuries they were racking up over the weeks. I just saw them, the Lions keep winning, the Lions keep winning. So I didn't know that they were suffering all of those injuries until it caught up to them in that Commanders loss, in which they basically got blowed out at home. And,
Yes.
that kind of shocked everybody. But I guess they just took on the injuries till they couldn't take it on anymore. But that being said, all of those guys now got experience coming back with the starters. They have a very deep team coming into this year, and it makes it really hard for me to knock them off at number one and see somebody else taking their spot. I just don't see it.
Right. No, absolutely. And it's funny when you look at it, their defense was the 20th ranked defense, but they had the second ranked offense. That's insane.
Yeah.
And they had a 15-2 record, which just again drives home the fact that there's leaning on your offense, and then there's acting like the offense is the only phase of the game that's out there. And that's really what they did. Jared, and that's a lot of credit to Jared Goff. I mean, my God. LA got rid of him. Detroit dusted him off, and he has definitely found a home in Detroit. So he comes back as QB1. Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen behind him. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery as your running backs. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams as your two starting wide receivers, along with Tim Patrick. You've got then you got a handful of other guys behind them. You've got Sam Laporta, who I really like as their tight end. Man, this offense is loaded.
They are stacked, bro. They are stacked.
Damn. and I'll be honest with you, their defense, as long as their defense stays healthy, oh man, number 20, forget about that. They'll be back. The biggest question mark I think people have about the biggest question mark I think the people have about the Lions isn't really the players, which is kind of funny. It's the coordinators because they lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator because they were so good to head coaching positions. One going to Chicago and then the other going to the Jets. So now it's really going to be, hey, how's that continuity going to go with the defense and everything? And I think they're going to be fine because I think that the guys that they promoted came from within, know the scheme, know the players, know the program. A lot of terminology is still going to be the same. Everybody has their own little way of looking at things, but I think for the most part, you got Dan Campbell there, you got Jared Goff there, you got Aiden Hutchinson there, you got the cast of characters. I think the coordinators will play to the strengths of the players, and I don't see any problem at all with the Lions being just as potent as they were on offense. And again, with the caveat that the defense stays healthy, is going to be one hell of a 1-2 punch.
Right, man. I just don't see anybody knocking them off the mountain. I just don't. They're stacked offensively. Golf is hotter than anything. I mean, you got Amar St. Brown, one of the best up and coming wide receivers out there. You got one of the best tight ends out there in Laporta. And defensively, like I was saying, due to all the injuries last year, you got your starters, and now you have a lot of depth there with experience underneath them. So the Lions should be back. They should be back. I got them top of the division. I got
Same. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I see them again doing very, very well in the NFC. They are just, they didn't unload anything. They just reloaded, got everybody healthy, and as long as that injury bug does not come a calling for them again, they are going to be one tough out at the end of the year. This is gonna be a hard team. This is gonna be a real hard one.
Yes,
Let's jump over to the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are they came in last year with an 11-6 record. You guys know Matt LaFleur as the head coach, and you got Jordan Love in as the QB1 with Malik Willis and Sean Clifford behind him. They also have a great, outstanding running game with Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. They've got some receivers, but some are nicked up. Christian Watson is on the pup to start the season, so he's not going to be ready in time for opening day. I keep seeing McCole Hardman latch onto a team, so McCole Hardman is one of their receivers. Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Matthew Golden. Dobbs is kind of an enigma because a lot of talent, but has a propensity to drop balls. Or just turn it over, You just look at this dude like, bro, you got all the God-given skills. Just hold on to the daggone ball. Then they've got Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft at their tight ends. So a decent offense ran, a really, really, really decent offense. They were actually, man, I had their ranking. I just turned it off. Their ranking last year in offense was 5. So they had a pretty damn good offense. They were number 5 overall in yards per game. In defense, though, the Packers were, not bad. They were 5. 5 offense, 5 defense. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah. 314 yards a game in defense.
That's a surprising stat to me as well. They were really good.
Mm-hmm. Robbie says that Green Bay could be a sleeper, but will have to stay healthy. And Robbie, that's the problem with a lot of these teams. If you're going into the season and you don't have your players on day one, whether it's the Vikings having a receiver out for the first 3 games, if it's Christian Watson being on the pup to start the season, these slow starts can come back and kill you, especially when you're in such a competitive division, because you got to play each other head to head, but you also need to win some of them out of conference, out of division games as well, so that you can stack up some of these wins at the end of the year.
Yeah, makes a difference. And, I know Robbie put it with the caveat that if they stay healthy, you're going to have to put that on every team in the NFL, basically. I mean, you could only sustain so many injuries, and then injuries at key parts. Take, for instance, Green Bay. If they lose Love for any part of the season and they got to rely on their backup quarterback, who I'm forgetting the name of right now. Brian, you just said him.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. That is not going. That's going to change your whole entire team. Whole team.
Everything.
Everything.
And you know
So
what,
yeah,
Rand? I think for the last, I don't know how many years, I have brought up the fact that teams undervalue the backup quarterback, and to their own detriment, because every quarterback is one sack, uh, you know, away from being knocked out of a game, or taking off and running and sliding wrong, or getting hit wrong, getting nicked, getting hit in the ribs. They're always just that one play away from getting knocked out. And when your season hangs on that one person, man, that's just crazy. Having
yeah,
a strong backup quarterback, um, is just everything. I remember when Cam Newton had Derek Anderson all those years. Everybody loved DA.
yeah,
Everybody, he was a great backup. Even when
yeah.
Dak Prescott went out and he had Cooper Rush. People say what they want about
Uh-huh.
Cooper Rush. I ain't no Cowboys fan, so I ain't trying to give them no extra shine. But Cooper would come in there and he would just stay within himself, run the offense, keep the chains moving, and not necessarily have to win the game, but not lose the game. Allow the
Exactly.
offense to do what they do, let the defense kind of, shoulder a lot of that load, maybe even have some sudden changes where they're getting the ball back just through the defense, or even better, sometimes even having the defense score, to take some of that pressure off when your QB1 is out. But not having a good serviceable number two in there at all is almost uh, malfeasance. I mean, you got to have that strong second guy in there to be able to come in. Plus, you also need him to be able to push your first guy, whether it's in practice and QB competition and everything else. So,
Exactly, man. You don't just need a quality backup quarterback anymore that could come in and be serviceable. You really need a backup quarterback that can win some games in the absence of your primary quarterback. That's what
uh,
you really need in today's NFL, man. You really do.
Yep, absolutely. And when you look at some of the better teams with that, when you look at Philly, when you look at Kansas City and who they have as their backups, you know, yes, there's always going to be a fall off from QB1 to QB2. It's supposed to be, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be fall off where basically if QB1 is going to miss any extended time, you basically calling it a season.
Yeah, yeah. It shouldn't be such a fall off that you are a primary passing team with the
Mhm.
number one guy in there, and then when the number one guy goes out, well, now you're a primary run team. It shouldn't be that much of a fall off.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think a lot of teams, they're still not putting the needed importance on making sure that they have that good backup. Backup is not a bad thing, that's a good
Mhm.
role to have because of the trust that the coaches have in you, the team has in you, to be able to come in and still keep things going and everything else. And that the moment ain't gonna be too big for the person, they can come in and do what they need to do. So,
Yeah.
but every year I bring up the fact that a lot of these teams seem to still kind of, you know, pass by on the back of, and the crazy part with that, Rand, is most teams will only, and this is a clue to us talking about Cleveland, but most teams only go in with two active quarterbacks and then an emergency quarterback, or two active quarterbacks and one on the practice squad. So to make that 53-man roster, those positions are highly important, you know, because your
Yeah.
quarterback isn't like your third and your fourth running back, where they also are valuable to you on special teams. Your backup quarterback only plays quarterback. He ain't running no punts or anything else like that. So that is a premium position because they only play that one position. Not like
Mhm.
some of your backups that get a chance to also contribute on special teams. So
Correct. Yep. Mhm.
so anyways, but yeah, and the Packers again, that defense, like I said, number 5, they stay healthy. It is going to be a formidable defense. They're going to need it in that division. But yeah, the Packers are really, really, really going to be strong. And then there were the Bears.
Didn't we have Chicago?
Oh my gosh. It's like, dude, we gotta even say anything about the Bears. So
Not
the Bears,
much.
not much, won't be much. The Bears ended the season at 5-12, and you gotta give them credit. They actually won 5 games. Which
You know what's crazy though? They started off 4-2. Crazy stat.
That's the worst. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. So that means they went 4-2. That's 6 games. So out of the next 11 games, they won 1. 1-2. Woo! Boy, that about the wheels falling off. Jesus.
Sorry,
11
Chicago
games,
fans.
11 games and you win 1.
Sorry, Chicago fans. I mean, no, it's not funny to you guys, but I mean, come on.
Oh,
That's
that's
kind of
ugly. Chicago fans, y'all gotta laugh at that because you know that some teams of 11 games, they're gonna win 3 of them by accident.
come on.
Good Lord, who was y'all playing? But yeah, yeah. Anyway, so they come up with their starter. Of course, their starter is going to be Caleb Williams, followed by Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum. Case Keenum still got a job, y'all.
You said Cindy Williams?
Cindy Williams.
Oh, Caleb, my bad.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb, my bad.
Lord have mercy. You know, this is back-to-back years where the number 1 pick got overshone by the number 2 pick. We had that, and it's funny because Caleb Williams is a product of Carolina giving them that number 1 pick. And you know, we end up with Bryce Young instead of CJ Stroud, and the number 2 outperform. And then you see what Jaden Daniels did with the Washington Commanders and Caleb Williams. Robbie said, hell, the Panthers won more games down the stretch, more than the Bad News Bears. I didn't even think about that, Robbie. That's a damn good point.
That's true.
Bryce Young started clicking and Caleb Williams started ticking. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, sorry.
Either ticking or twerking, one of them.
Yeah, he was doing that. Well, at least he didn't have on that little short midriff jersey that.
Oh my God, yes.
So you know, hopefully he ain't wear that this year because that just brought back the longest yard vibes to me. But anyway,
to all of us.
But anyway, so you got Caleb coming in for another year, and we're gonna have to see how he's adjusted. DeAndre Swift comes back as their running back. Rashawn Johnson with him in the backfield. You got DJ Moore on one side as a receiver. But then you got some other guys. I don't know who a lot of these guys are as receivers, and I don't know if Caleb does either, and that could be a problem. Roma Duze, Luther Burden, Miles Boykin, Devin Duvernay, Samori Toure, Tyler Scott, Maurice Alexander. These are some folks that he gonna have to get some chemistry with that nobody knows who the hell these people are.
Bro, I ain't even gonna lie. It sounds like you reading off the practice squad right now.
You know what? This is their depth chart.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet is their tight end. You know, look, yes, you got to have a line, but you got to have somebody that when you hike the ball, you got some people that you can throw to, you know, gonna catch that ball. Or y'all gonna rely heavily on DeAndre Swift, and that's just not the play. DeAndre Swift is a decent dude, but he ain't that dude. And DJ Moore, even when he was with the Panthers, I thought he was a bit overrated because he would catch the most insane balls, but drop the ones that go right to him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Which would just drive me crazy about DJ. I'd be like, why you got to catch all of the most difficult, crazy ones, but the ones that are just academic, you make them look like they're just so hard.
And on top of that, when he was with Carolina, he'd come out with that 100-yard game, 7 catches, 100 yards, get you all fired up. And the very next game, 3 for
On the
31.
Or nothing. You don't see
Or
him.
nothing. Yeah.
You'd be like, was he a scratch? Did he play? DMP coach's decision? What? Oh, no, he was out there the whole game. Really? Oh, my God. I ain't never seen nobody make that much money that could make themselves invisible during the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, wait a minute, is it 10 on 11? No, DJ out there. Oh, okay. What's up, Paul Copeland? How you doing, brother?
Copeland, what's happening, man?
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, the Bears look like they're ready for the bottom again, because, Rand, I don't see anything to be hopeful about with this team. I don't know if Caleb Williams, and you know what? They're going to have to find out what Caleb Williams is, because same thing that came up with Justin Fields is every year you waste this quarterback is another year where they're ready for that 5th-year option, where you can normally re-sign them in year 4, or if you think you're going to get a better deal by year 3 and get an extension so that you're not paying this guy $70 million a year. But he hasn't shown you that he's that franchise guy. So what are you going to do if Robbie said he's a bust?
Yeah, Robbie has long said this guy's a bust. The thing with Caleb Williams
is his coaching.
Yeah, coaching. I'm glad you brought that up, because if I remember correctly, they are changing over coordinators again, offensive coordinators. Yeah, it's different coordinators. So that's going to make a huge difference, because he did okay last year, but now he has to wipe the slate clean and basically start all over with a new teacher. And it's just going to make a big difference, man. I mean, you got DJ Moore as your primary number 1 receiver. I always thought DJ was a number 2. You got Roma Duze as your number 2 receiver. He does better in the slot. Just not a whole lot of talent.
I mean, if you were going to say, hey, I will at least give Carolina credit that they said, hey, if we're going to make this guy our franchise quarterback, we're going to put all the weapons around him where there's no excuses for him not being able to flourish.
Right.
I look at Caleb Williams and what he has around him, and I'm like, y'all are doing the same mess-ish that you did with Justin Fields. You gave him nothing and expected everything.
Pretty much.
And then when it didn't work out, he's damaged goods. You know, he's on his 3rd team now. Not really any fault of his own for the last one, because he didn't really do anything to lose his job, other than he just wasn't really pushing the ball down the field. But it was because he was so gun shy from Chicago.
Yeah, didn't want to make that mistake.
Right.
But I think Chicago is gonna struggle offensively. DeAndre Swift as the number 1 running back. Who knows with that one? On the defensive side of the ball, you got Montez Sweat as your primary pass rusher.
Yep.
He ain't never been that guy.
Nope.
They drafted a dude out of UCLA, I believe, to be opposite of Sweat. He also ain't never been that guy. They got Grady Jarrett in the tackle spot. He's like 40. So it just ain't going to be a good season for them, man. I just don't see it.
I don't either. This could go bad quickly for this team. I expect it to go badly quickly for this team. I don't have any hope for this team at all. And that's why I have them finishing exactly where they finished last year. And I don't even know if they can win 5 games this year. Over under on 5. 1.
Maybe they start off 5-2 this year.
That's the only way. Oh my gosh. UCLA. I don't see where they got the guy out of UCLA.
Sorry, my bad. They actually got him as a free agent out of from the Colts.
Okay, I got that.
Odin Dejo.
Yeah,
But
yep,
he ain't
yep.
never been that dude either, man.
And Robbie, I'm sorry I did miss your comments. I guess when we were talking about Kyler from the Cardinals, he said, "Don't forget his painted fingernails."
Who you talking about, Cindy? No, Caleb. My bad.
Oh, Caleb. That's right. Caleb had the painted fingernails. That's right. Caleb had the painted fingernails. Yeah. That ain't bro. But yeah. So I think I have the Bears for over 3.5 this year. Jeff, good night. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I'm ready for my Panthers to get started. I know that's right, buddy.
Jeff
Rob,
Knight. That's a new name to me. Is that a
yes,
new name to you?
no,
Welcome to
sir.
the show, Mr. Knight. Welcome, man.
I grew up with Mr. Knight.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Absolutely, definitely. But yeah, Robbie, if they over 3.5 but under 5, so 4. I just don't. I'll give him 3.5 because my God, I mean, if not, Caleb should be benched, the coach should be fired, and the owner should just go somewhere. So Rand, for this division, it's pretty much I pretty much got them where they finished last year. I got the Lions first. I got the Vikings second. I've got the Packers third, and I've got the Bears fourth again.
And that is exactly how I have it lined up. Now it's going to come down to the caveat, like I was saying about JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because if he flops, then I could easily see the Vikings going down to 3.
Yep.
But other than that, man, I have it exactly how you have it lined up.
Good. Yeah. I see the same thing because the biggest question that I have when I look at this is, did they do enough to make a change where they can move up? Everybody is trying to get better. Bears first 3 games, yes, Vikings, Lions, and Dallas.
Oh, and 3.
Oh God. Yeah, somebody please call 911. Woo! It's about to be a murder.
Like, do we even have to shorten play these games, or can we just take our 0-3 and start in week 4?
Look, they need to negotiate and see if they varsity can play their junior varsity. My God. Don't send them out there like that. That ain't gonna even be right. JJ McCarthy may throw for 575 yards in that game. They're all going for 600, and hell, even Dak with CD and Pickens out there, they gonna rate them like, woo.
That's ugly.
That's gonna be ugly. and then if they have to, and does Chicago make you see them as a team that can play from behind?
Hell no. Hell no.
If they get behind 2 scores, do you see Caleb Williams throwing them to a comeback?
With DJ Moore? Hell no.
Woo! Hell to the no. But those other 3 teams, I do see them potentially being able to play from behind. Now, Dallas historically does not play well from behind, but the Lions and the Vikings with the firepower that they have, and I will say with the firepower that Dallas does have this year, I could see all 3 of them being able to play from behind, not like Chicago. So that does say something for you. But if you get behind early on teams like these, they will keep the foot on your neck and just bury you. So yeah, that's all for real. If they
can't come from behind when your best receiver is just capable of running a slant route.
That's it. And even with the Vikings having one player on he's going to be suspended that game, they still have enough to be able to overcome Chicago. So no, not at all. That ain't gonna bode well for them at all. But yeah, like I said, when I look at the Vikings, did they do enough to really push them above what Detroit did? Not really. I mean, they did enough to kind of hold on to that number 2, provided everybody stays healthy. Do I think the Packers made a lot to no, because I need to see what Christian Watson is going to be after he comes back from injury. I need to see what Romeo Dobbs is going to do. Is he going to take it to another level? We know what some of those other guys are, but have I seen enough in the Vikings where I can see them fight for number 2 if I can see the Packers, like you said earlier, fight for number 2 if the Vikings get caught slipping, especially early, getting acclimated to a new quarterback, and all those kind of things, or just to really see if he is who everybody thinks he is and was before he got injured. Christine Ojo, how you doing, Christine? She watching. That's my friend. How you doing, Christine?
What's up, Christine?
Yeah. Tell Arthur and the boys what's up. So that handles the NFC North. Now I want to go to your favorite division, Rand.
Oh yeah. Let's get into it. We can get this Fedora talk popping too, man.
Oh yeah. Because look, I'm gonna tell y'all. Every time I bet against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they make me eat all them words, and it's crazy because everybody knows that Rand is a diehard, and that ain't even the word for it. Fanatic of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when Rand picks the Pittsburgh Steelers last year to finish number 2 behind the Ravens, I'm going, man, stop being a homer.
Right?
I'm like, ain't no way Joe Burrow gonna have something to say about that. I said, now look, they gonna make sure that they number 3 because I think them doo-doos still the doo-doos. The brownies, that is. But there ain't no way in the world that Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, even though they lost Mixon, but they got Chase Brown, that they're gonna be formidable. Ain't no way in the world. Pittsburgh, who was the quarterback? Oh, they had Russell Wilson and damn Justin Fields. And I said, there ain't no way. And they got George Pickens, but they ain't got no other receiver other than Freiermuth. I said, it ain't gonna happen. It just can't happen. They finished second. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow would have been the MVP if they had a better record. Because he basically tried to wheel them to the playoffs and damn near did it. But they just could not overcome a sucky defense. But Joe Burrow did everything he could to right that wrong. But the Steelers just plodded along, won a game here, lost some crazy games like the one to Cleveland with Jameis Winston playing them in the snow that game. It was just crazy. You say, I don't even know how I remember that game like that, but just stuff like that where you like, man, if they had won that game, they would have even been better. That was crazy. They won 10 games anyway.
Right.
Anyway. And so now this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Rand, as you know, have a brand new quarterback that just started this year. No, I'm just kidding. They have Aaron Rodgers. They waited all year. And when I say they waited all year to get Aaron Rodgers. They finished 10-7 last year. Russell Wilson moved on to the New York Giants. Justin Fields moved on to the New York Jets. And now they're going to start out with Aaron Rodgers at their quarterback with Mason Rudolph as his backup. Will Howard and Skylar Thompson filling that out. Najee Harris has moved on. And now Jalen Warren is going to be your full-time starting running back, along with a Caleb Johnson in the backfield with him, which is different. They definitely had 2 different running styles. And for years, Jalen seemed to, when he would go in, get more yards per carry than Najee. So we're going to really see if he's going to be able to be that every down back that I think that they're hoping for him to be. But the Steelers did some really un-Steeler-like things. They went out free agency and signed DK Metcalf, which, I mean, that's a splash for the Steelers. They don't do this.
Big time.
That's not a Steeler thing.
No.
They went out and got Jonnu Smith. they traded Minka Fitzpatrick and brought in Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they just did some things that I would not have expected a team like the Steelers to really do. But I'm glad that they did, because what it's telling me is that in that building, they're not rebuilding. They're just retooling and reloading.
Yeah,
Um,
they love it.
they are playing as if, hey, we might not be able to take the division from Baltimore, but we at least gonna come in second again and get to the playoffs. They playing for the playoffs.
They
Those,
are. They
those
are.
decisions were built for because if it was, we just gonna, I forgot, they also got Darius Slay too.
Yeah.
They got him from Philly.
Yep.
So um but they're pushing all the chips into the middle and saying, "Oh, we in. We not. We ain't rebuilding. We going for it. We think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to get that offense going, because even without Aaron Rodgers, we won 10 games. So they
Yep.
have a point. They have a point.
Yeah.
As long as you keep Aaron Rodgers upright, lean on your run game and make opportunistic passes to Freiermuth, to DK Metcalf, to some of these other guys. You even got Robert Woods out there, experienced receiver too. You even got Scotty Miller. I remember he did okay with Tom Brady down in Tampa. So you
Yeah.
got some viable options for Aaron Rodgers, and him working with Arthur Smith to make sure that offense is more catered and comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. I'm actually expecting them to finish second this year as well. I ain't counting them out no more. They gonna have to prove to me that the wheels done fell off. I ain't never ever put them lower than second again, ever.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. And I also have them coming in second this year. I don't think they did enough to overtake Baltimore,
Mhm.
but with all of the changes that they did make, I mean, come on, with the quarterback position, you're talking
Mhm.
about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields combining last year to win 10 games. Okay, so the year before that, they still won 10 games with Mason Rudolph as the freaking quarterback. So now they're bringing in Aaron Rodgers. You're right about that. As long as he ain't just turned ancient overnight, if he
Mhm.
can replicate what he did last year with the 28 touchdowns and 6 picks, if he brings that to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is going to be dangerous. They're going to be dangerous. And
And
I
that, and
cannot
that,
wait to see him
I'm
play.
glad you said that part, because the best asset to me about Aaron Rodgers is decision making, and he protects the football. You would have to go far back to look at any season where Aaron Rodgers had double digit picks.
Yes.
He protects the foot. You can say whatever you want about him, because he is a little weird. He goes into dark rooms and all that other stuff, but he will not give up that football. He will throw it out. He will get rid of it first. He'll dump it off. He'll do whatever he has to do, but he will protect that football. And the best tool of a quarterback to me is ball security, not giving up the ball and having sudden changes deep into your territory. Um, all those kind of things where the defense just got off the field. Now you're bringing them back on the field by having unnecessary turnovers. That's one of the best things the quarterback can do, is keep the chains moving, not having a bunch of stalled drives, not getting shut down deep into your territory where you have to rely on long punts and things like that. That is a really, really big thing that Aaron Rodgers can bring to this team.
Yeah, and it's an important thing because that is the Pittsburgh way. That is the Pittsburgh
Right.
method of winning games. Ball control, and we get the ball in our hands more than we give it away. That is Pittsburgh ball, man. So it fits right into the scheme with Arthur Smith's offense and Aaron Rodgers, 100%.
And it's funny too, because you say this every year and you end up being right again. That somehow, some way, no matter how good Baltimore is, they're gonna split one of them games with Baltimore.
They
And,
do it. They
and
do
it
it.
happens. It happens. Oh my gosh. So yeah, no further than two. Now here's my question. So they are playing for the playoffs. I believe they will get there. Will it be enough to get to the playoffs, or will they have to win at least one playoff game for the season to not be a disappointment?
They absolutely have to win at least one playoff game because this getting in the playoffs and quick exit, especially getting blowed out. Come on, man. That is not Pittsburgh way. That is not the standard that Mike Tomlin keeps talking about, keeps preaching about. I love Tomlin. Okay, don't get me wrong, but is Tomlin any different from Mike McCarthy? Not much. Not much.
Mhm.
And we got to change that. We got to change that.
It's funny. I haven't heard that comparison. I heard more of the comparison of Andy Reid in Philadelphia, where he kept going to NFC Championship games. He kept going into the playoffs, but he could just never get over the hump. And he had to have that Kansas City revival for him to now be considered one of the greatest head coaches, because he was a good coach in Philadelphia. I mean, he won one. He just couldn't win the one. Then he gets over to Kansas City, and then he finds this guy named Mahomes, and the rest is history. And their histories are now tied to each other. So is Tomlin going to go down the path of Andy Reid, where hey, he did good things while in Pittsburgh, but he may have to go somewhere else to get that recognition like Andy Reid got?
He may have to. The reason I don't use the Andy Reid moniker is that Andy Reid won playoff
That's true. That's true.
games. And in playoff games that he didn't win, he was not getting blowed the hell out. This is not Pittsburgh football to get into the playoffs and then lose to teams like Cleveland by 3 touchdowns at home. That's ridiculous. Getting into the playoffs and giving up. I'll tell you like this, Brian. Do you know the last 5 playoff games that the Steelers have played? And I want to say 2 of those have been at home. We have given up an average of 38 points per game on defense. Tell me when throughout the history of Pittsburgh that ever been the case. We're talking Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Mean Joe Green. We're talking Greg Boyd, Rod Woodson, just premier defensive players. And now we've got to the point where we're giving up, like I said, over 35 points a game in the playoffs. That's disgusting football, man. That is not the Steeler way.
Oh, Robbie had also said about Chicago. I just looked and I see only 3 wins, possibly 4. Got you. And then he also said that the Steelers have to win. My last thing, and I know I'm running over with these, and if we have to push the other division, that's fine. But because I was telling one of my friends who's a Steelers fan as well, that hey, you know what? If this is really Aaron Rodgers' last year, even if he came back for another year, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. If Pittsburgh gets to the playoffs, either loses the first playoff game, or even if they win, but and that could actually make it worse. What's going to happen is Pittsburgh is going to be that perennial number 20 to 25 pick of the draft, and they're not going to be in a position to get one of the top quarterbacks coming out next year unless they have the ability to move up. The only trade capital that the Pittsburgh Steelers have ran is TJ Watt.
Yeah, and that ship sailed because they just paid him his money so he could get a new deal. So he's on the books for now another 3 years in Pittsburgh. If they were wanting to trade him, they could have done it before he signed that deal a few months ago or a few weeks ago. So,
because now
part is over now.
Because what you would have to do is a new team would have to take on that salary.
Yep, they'd have to take on that salary, and I don't know who's going to be willing to do that for a 30-year-old edge rusher. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. So I don't know how they're going to get these number 1 picks, because whoever is going to, if they want to try to move up to get somebody, they're going to have to come up with some creative package to be able to trade their 20th pick to somebody that lands a top 5 draft pick. I don't know how they're going to do that. And so my question is that I feel like Pittsburgh is in this quarterback purgatory where they do have just enough success that keeps them from getting that quarterback of the future. And then they try this patchwork with Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Hell, by then it'll be time for Caleb Williams to have a new team. Maybe they'll get Caleb Williams. I know you,
Hell no.
but by then, or hell, it might even be Bryce Young. You know, we probably got rid of him down in Carolina by then, so y'all can have Bryce Young. But
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like you're taking
Yeah.
somebody else's trash and trying to make a treasure out of them because you're almost a victim of your own success or mediocrity. In that, yeah, you'll cause just enough damage. It's like that person that go to work and they do just enough not to get fired. You like, man, if they would just lean over a little bit, I'd push them and get them fired. But they just know how to straddle that fence good enough where they ain't never gonna get fired, and they'll be at that company for 20 years. But had they just kind of leaned a little bit one way or the other, you could have got them out the door. But they do just enough just to stay afloat. Everybody know that person I'm talking about. They work with. You'd be like
Mhm.
that person because you like just go ahead, tilt on over, and they won't do it. Damn it.
Yeah.
So,
They
oh
are stuck in the middle. I do agree with that, and I'd be okay with that if they were winning playoff games. I really
yeah,
would.
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do. I'm hoping that their answer is somehow on the roster. We got Mason Rudolph, who has done a decent job. Is he the quarterback of the future? I don't know. I'm hoping that he is. Has he shown such? Not really. But sometimes young guys take a long time to develop. Like what's his name in Seattle right now, Minnesota last year.
oh yeah, Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, the Baker Mayfield takes a few years to come out of him. So you just don't know, man. Do I prefer to go 4-12 or 4-13 and then get some college quarterback that can be the future of the team? I don't really want to do that either. So,
Yeah,
we'll just have to see what they're going to do.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's switch gears over to the Baltimore Ravens, who finished last season at 12-5. Um, oh, you know what? Hold on, before I even say that, let me tell you what Pittsburgh offensive ranking was last year. I did forget to give you that. Last year, Pittsburgh, the Steelers' offense was. Oh my gosh, I'm still scrolling. That can't be true. Okay, I must have passed it. The Steelers' offense was. Are they on? Can't be missing them like that. Oh, wow. 23rd.
Sounds about right.
And the defense was actually 12th.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay.
Defense kept
All
them in a
right.
lot of
Very
games.
good.
Ball control kept them in a lot of games.
Exactly. That makes sense. Now, to no surprise, the Ravens offense was ranked number 1 in the league. 424 yards. Let's say 425 yards per game in offense, which is ridiculous. And the defense was actually ranked 12th. So not bad either place. You've got, of course, John Harbaugh, the head coach. You got Lamar Jackson, QB1, followed by QB2, none other than Cooper Rush. I did not know that. And then you got your running backs, Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. Let me put some respect on that. King Henry,
King Henry.
Justice Hill. And then again, you've got this offense that is scary as hell. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Devontae Walker, DeAndre Hopkins, gonna pull an Odell Beckham. And then you got your tight end duo of Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, who is likely to continue to get better and better and better. I thought more of Kyle Pitts at one point than Isaiah Likely, and Isaiah Likely has really put more for me to be able to enjoy than Kyle Pitts has, and we'll talk about that when we get to the NFC South with Atlanta. But Isaiah Likely is a hell of a blocking and receiving tight end. Mark Andrews, Mr. Reliable, except for one play where he dropped the ball in the playoffs. But other than that, very, very reliable, very, very good, strong offense. Lamar Jackson, could have easily won MVP again last year. And hell, probably should have. But I digress. I digress. That is one hell of an offense. They are I don't even want to say they retooled or reloaded. They just brought everybody back. They did good making sure that everybody from their offense came back.
Yeah, man. When you are a defense and you have to choose between Derrick Henry coming at you or Lamar Jackson getting out on the edge and coming at you. And then not only you have to worry about that, you have to worry about receivers coming behind you. It just makes Baltimore so hard to deal with. Because even if you cover up all of that, you still have two capable tight ends functioning underneath all that.
Right. Because
how
do you put 8 in the box? Say, okay, we're going to be committed to stopping Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can play on all 3 downs. Yep. So you can't just sit there and go, okay, we stopped them on first and second. Now they're going to throw. No, they can still. And Henry catches balls too.
He catches too. They are hard to deal with, man. They are hard to deal with.
It ain't fair. It ain't fair at all. So yeah, you're right. And if it's an RPO, he pulls it back from Henry and takes off. So you can't just keep putting 8 in the box, because now you're daring Lamar to use his arm to beat you, and he has receivers all over the place that will oblige and do that. If you play man coverage, they're going to kill you that way, because now you're really going to give Derrick Henry some running lanes. He don't need much. And then you're going to see guys taking some very weird angles, making business decisions. Like, I'm going to make the coach think I'm really trying to tackle this dude. I am not trying to tackle this dude, King. Don't get your you ain't. I'm not going to be on the pup. Ain't no way. IR ain't coming for me. So I get that. But yeah, that's just crazy. Then the defense comes back. You still got Roquan doing his thing. Namdi, what's his name? By BK, how do you say his name? He's Cal Van Noy's still there. Jair Alexander's still there. Kyle Hamilton's still there. I mean, Cal Van Noy's still there.
They're loaded. They are loaded, man. They're loaded.
You know, like, hey, this ain't even fair. Go ahead and give them the AFC North crown.
Yep. Now, I would really be a homer to say Pittsburgh can overcome all that and win the North.
It's kind of the exact opposite of what you said when I read off the depth chart for the Chicago Bears. It's the total opposite. Like, damn. Oh my gosh. Let's finish up with these 2 teams, and then we'll do the NFC South next week.
All right.
So we've got the Cincinnati Bengals, who actually are bringing. They did a hell of a job. They re-signed T. Higgins this year. So you paid Jamar Chase a whole bunch of money. You've now paid T. Higgins a bunch of money. Joe Burrow's got getting a bunch of money. So they're paying a lot to those 3 positions right there. But you got Joe Burrow with Jake Browning and Desmond Ridder as your backups. You got Chase Brown and Samaje Perine as your running backs. And then, as I alluded to, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins as your 1-2 duo at receiver. You got Mike Gesicki and Noah Fant as your tight ends. Then you got Orlando Brown Jr., left tackle. Dylan Fairchild, left guard. You got those guys guarding the blind side. So Joe Burrow, as long as they keep him upright and healthy, I expect him to throw for 6 million yards again. That ain't the problem. I mean, what he did that's just crazy. But it was wasted. They wasted this man's talent last year on what he did. If he had even a respectable defense, they would have done something.
No doubt.
They would have went to the Super Bowl, but they would have done something. But they wasted Joe Burrow's year last year.
They did.
And the other thing about Cincinnati, they are notorious for slow starts. Start slow out the gate. They're their own worst enemy. They're the reason that they have to then start winning a bunch of games at the end because they can't win the ones at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just the craziest thing in the world. So we'll see if they can get that turned around. Their defense ran. That's going to be the emphasis. Can this defense be somewhat formidable to keep the offense to keep to keep them more balanced in attack, where the offense doesn't just have to score the most points to try to win a game?
No.
Thus the number 3. That is the problem. That is, I don't see anything that they have or anything that they did to give me any belief that their that their defense is going to be able to help them out. Look at it this way. The Bengals were number 9 last year in offense.
Mm-hmm.
They were number 25 in defense.
Yep. And still got Trey Hendrickson, their edge rusher, to my understanding.
Still
holding out. Yep, still holding out. So even if they pay him, he's going to be disgruntled. He's missing training camp. He's missing the preseason. They just run things raggedy in Cincinnati, and they don't make their players happy. So that's another caveat to this whole thing being so dysfunctional. You're right. I mean, Joe Burrow's probably the number 1 best quarterback in the whole NFL. I mean, there's only one active quarterback who has beaten Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, and that's him. He's the only one. But on top of that, they surround him with good stuff on the offense, and they do absolutely nothing on the defensive side of the ball to make him happy. So I just got them with the same result, man.
Same. And that's why I have them as 3 as well, because again, like I said earlier, did they do enough to improve in the areas that they needed to improve? Absolutely not. They were already stacked on offense. Their defense was the one that was more than an Achilles heel. Hell, it was an Achilles, it was an ACL, it was all of that, PCL. It was everything.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if their defense was a warrior, they would get the Purple Heart. They're gonna die in combat. But yeah, so that's why they're number 3. The number 14, as no surprise, is going to be those Cleveland Browns, who came in with the damn, I just had it up with the offense. 25th ranked. No, 28th offense. I'm gonna get it right. 28th offense. Yet they had the 19th defense, so they had a better defense than the Bengals.
That's sad.
That's crazy. That's insane. Bengals, y'all got to do better. The Doo-Doos had a better defense than y'all. Their offense was just horrid. That's all. So that's going to be crazy. So we're looking at the Cleveland Browns. The biggest topic of conversation, poor Cam Ward. All he does is get drafted number 1 to Tennessee. But the quarterback that gets talked about the most is the one that was taken 100 and something picks later. In Shedeur Sanders, who should not have been taken that far down. I don't know. I thought Pittsburgh was going to take him, to be honest. I thought the Giants were going to take him. I thought the Saints would have taken him. I didn't understand any of those at all. Yes, everybody's talked about, they trying to, humble him and make him understand that we don't care that Deion, your daddy, you going to da-da-da-da-da-da. The hell with all that. Yeah. I'm an owner. I'm trying to win.
Exactly.
I don't care if Deion is sitting beside the coach every day on the field. If we winning, press pass Deion, which he might be doing that anyway. He's going to be in Colorado doing his own thing with his team. But, I heard so many different stories as to why Shedeur got drafted as late as he did. And I just think all of it is a bunch of crap. I just saw how he performed against the Carolina Panthers. People keep talking about, he performed against the second and the third team. Yeah, but the starters did play at first.
They did. Yep. And to me, I don't buy into all of that, right? I mean, we're still talking about professionals out there.
Exactly.
People want to talk about, he made that pass in the corner of the end zone against Carolina's second-ranked cornerbacks. Okay, cool.
That's the best we got anyway.
Yeah. So what if it was a primary cornerback? Maybe that pass that he makes gets knocked down and not completed. But is it not still a good pass? It wasn't like he threw something right to a defender or threw a bad pass. He put that pass in the only location his receiver could catch it in. Now, if that's a premier cornerback, that premier cornerback maybe knocks that ball down and it's an incompletion, but it's not an interception. This kid is throwing the ball where it needs to be, and he's also using his legs. Was I surprised at what he did against Carolina? I wasn't surprised because I've been saying the praises of this guy.
Absolutely. I think he, and here's the crazy thing, Rand. They're going to have to make a decision because they still have, of course, Joe Flacco listed as QB1, Kenny Pickett listed as QB2, Dylan Gabriel, who's also injured right now, is still listed as QB3. And Shador
they had no business even drafting Dylan Gabriel, but I'll let you continue.
Well, no, I agree. He should have been that pick if they were going to make a pick.
Exactly.
No sense. And then they had to bring in was it Tyler Huntley? Just to have enough bodies because people are hurt. So for the preseason game, but Shador is going to get a little bit more opportunity, I believe, in the next preseason game. If again goes and shows good pocket presence, if he shows good decision making, going through his reads, making passes on time, and those are the things that you really want to be able to see with your young rookie. Is he getting the ball out? He had no turnovers in that game.
Yep.
All he did was keep the chains moving. Did some drives get stalled? Absolutely. And Rand, he did that while not getting hardly any snaps with the first or second team.
Exactly. And he also did that with a bunch of pressure that the Carolina Panthers was coming off the edge with because that second and third team tackles that he was out there with trying to protect them were breaking down on almost every play. So, I think the kid has the tools. I saw the tools in college. I saw the tools against the Panthers last Friday. I just think he could play. I think his attitude got him drafted where he was. I can't speak for any other team, but I do know for a fact that the Steelers were not impressed at all by his attitude in the interview process. And that's why they didn't draft him with the number 1 pick. Now, when you start getting down to number 2 and number 3, I still should have said, we should have taken a flyer on this kid.
Absolutely.
Still should have drafted him, but they didn't.
Because even if the intent was to then still bring in Aaron Rodgers, now it doesn't put any pressure on him to be your day 1 quarterback.
Exactly.
Where he can learn. He can be the next Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers, where he gets to watch how a true professional comes in, handles the team and everything else, and that just would have made the kid even better.
Yeah.
But this is a fiasco. Kenny Pickett has not proven anywhere that he's gone that he's ready to be QB2, much less QB1. Dylan Gabriel, yes, he was a decent college player, but Shador sat there and all he did was win. He go from Jackson State, turns around that school, goes to Colorado, turns around that school. My God, the kid knows how to face adversity. If anything else, he's very poised. He's very mature. And of course, a lot of that has to do with having the best cornerback in NFL history as your daddy. Of course it does. But he still has to go out there and prove it. And the thing that I wanted to say too about those second and third string guys that he was playing against, they are trying to make a team.
Exactly.
They are rooting for you.
Yep.
They are hungry. Is guaranteed for them. So they damn sure gonna try to put on tape that they took Shador Sanders down.
Exactly, man.
But they're not just playing for the Carolina Panthers. They're playing for 31 other teams gonna watch that tape. The day agent gonna say, see, my guy didn't have a spot on this team, but he could do that on yours. They're hungry.
They're hungry, man. They're coming after him. And the thing is,
that mess.
I know people out there don't like Shador, and they don't like the brashness. They don't like the attitude, and all of that is fair. I don't care if you like him or don't like him. That's your own opinion. You're free to have that opinion. But to translate that over to football and say that the guy can't play,
Right.
I'm not seeing that at all.
I'm sorry, because I got to call audible on that.
I got to call an audible on it too.
Where was that with Baker Mayfield? Where he get drafted? Where was that with Johnny Manziel? Where he get drafted?
One.
You see what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Yeah.
they were just as much brash assholes too. Didn't affect their draft stock.
Yeah.
So look, come on now. A lot of these guys have egos. Some of the reason that they are who they are is because of their egos.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I get that, but at the same time, if you can play, you can play.
That's right.
We ain't looking for choir boys in the NFL. If you are, go see the Chicago Bears, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm trying to think of all the bad teams that don't have a chance in hell of winning anything. Go play for them, and they'll take your choir boys while we looking for some dogs.
Yeah.
Got a little chip on his shoulder, and he that dude, and he that dog. I'll take him. Now, we gonna make sure that our veterans get a hold of him and say, "All right, young buck, we're gonna reel some of this in, but we still gonna let you be you to an extent of the way that you play. But this is how you gonna be a professional in this locker room. We can work on that. But if he's a dog, if he's that dude, let him cook and do what he's supposed to do. Period."
Right. Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So, Jermaine, if you out there, that's how I feel about Shador. I think he's gonna either play himself into QB2, because if not, and they put him on the practice squad, somebody gonna sign him.
You got that right.
Somebody gonna make him QB2. So if they don't make him QB2, Shador, don't even worry about it. Somebody is waiting for them dummies to try to hide you on the practice squad because you can't get hidden on the practice squad. You can get signed off of it, and they will come get you.
You got that right.
I guarantee you, the first day they put him on the practice squad, he gone.
It'll be the draft all over again.
He gone. It's like reshuffling the deck. He gone.
Yep.
Don't even worry about it, Shador. He's gonna be. And lastly, before we close, Robbie says if Sanders can get adequate playing time, he'll look better than Bust Williams. He had to get one more dig in at Caleb. But so Rand, so yeah, I got the same order that they finished last year, with the Ravens 1, the Steelers 2, the Bengals 3, and the Browns definitely 4. I'd have the Browns at 20 if there was any way of putting them at 20. And it's not going to be because of the quarterback play. It's just going to be because of all of this other crap that they got going on. And Shador actually deserves better than that, but he's content that they make him quarterback too. He'd be just as content doing that and figuring it out. But I honestly hope that he puts on enough game tape, somebody else scoop him up and put him in a position to be a strong QB2.
Yeah, and I think it'll happen for him. I mean, there's just too much dysfunction in Cleveland.
Yep.
They got these 4 or 5 quarterbacks that is just
Mr. Masagi.
Yep, Masagi. They're just throwing these quarterbacks against the wall to see which one sticks. They just do not know what they're doing. They don't have direction there.
They have no
plan. It's a bad situation, especially for trying to compete in the AFC North, where all the other 3 teams are just going to beat the life out of them. So I got them coming in 4th as well, and I got the same order you have.
All right. Well, we're going to close it out. We didn't get to the NFC South. We'll definitely pick up the South next week. NFC, AFC South, I believe that's why. If I don't have it on the schedule, I'll repost it later. We'll run through those a little faster the next time. But hey, y'all, we getting our sea legs back, right? Browns over 2.5 wins, Robbie. You think? I don't know. I'm gonna put them at 2. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in again. Season 6 is underway. We appreciate y'all's support. I look forward to seeing y'all again next Monday, 7 p.m. Y'all take it easy.